A very good evening. Thanks for watching Times News. I'm Wezi Kasambala. First, the headlines. Teachers Union of Malawi says its members will not report for work on Monday, as directed by government. The Malawi Electoral Commission to adjust its by-elections budget downwards from 2.6 billion kwacha. And Vice President Saulos Chilima says government will proceed with the delinking of the University of Malawi. We have these and other stories to stay with us. In our top story, Teachers Union of Malawi says its members will not report for work on Monday, February 22nd, as directed by government. Government, through the Ministries of Education and Health, announced on Wednesday that all schools should open this coming Monday. However, TUM President Willie Malimba said top of the reasons for the teachers staying away from the opening is that government is not coming clear on the issue of risk allowances. He further said government has also not fulfilled some of the requirements for the opening of schools, among them drilling of boreholes in schools that have no water source and erecting of temporary classes to decongest current classrooms. Also in the news, the Malawi Electoral Commission has announced that it is revising its by-elections budget downwards from the initial 2.6 billion kwacha. This is after a consensus that they should hold by-elections in all 7 constituencies and 2 wards at once. The by-elections will be held on March 30th, 2021 in all constituencies and wards. More on this report by Justin Kwagwanji.
Initially, the Commission had 2 calendars for March and April. Speaking at a press briefing in Blantyre, MEC Chairperson Justice Chifundo Kajale said the calendars have been combined, hence less costly.
The split budget, when we had 2 different calendars, was coming up to 2.6 billion, and we are revising that downwards because some of the activities, now that we are doing everything, the decision to do everything together was only taken yesterday. And we have instructed our Secretariat to revise the budget and submit a revised budget, which will be made public in due course.
The constituencies which fell vacant due to court rulings are Nsanje Central, Nsanje North and Chikwawa East, while Nchisi North, Lilongwe Nsinja South, Karunga Northwest, Zomba Jangalume and Riviridzi and Chitakale wards fell vacant due to death. Part of the reason for seeking to extend the time frame was for procurement processes under the relevant procurement statutes, such as to float tenders for a period of not less than 45 days. Kajale added that they have combined to comply with the Constitution, which demands that vacancies should be filled within 60 days. Voter registration and update in required constituencies will take place from 22 February to 7 March. Official campaign period started on 15 February and will end on 28 March, and announcement of results will be done on 1 April, among other events.
Government will proceed with the delinking of the University of Malawi into 3 different public universities. Chilima says the delinking is a progressive process in increasing access to higher education as well as improving governance and operational efficiency in public universities. Matthews Kasanda has the details.
According to a press statement issued by the Vice President's press officer, Prirani P, the decision was made after the Vice President had a meeting with the UNIMA Council and other stakeholders in Lilongwe on Thursday, including the Minister of Justice, Titus Imvalo, and the Attorney General, Chikosa Silungwe. Chilima says the 3 universities will be named the Malawi University of Business and Applied Sciences, MUBAS, the Kamuzu University of Health Sciences, KUHES, and the University of Malawi, UNIMA. He says prior to delivering the position, there have been consultations within the government hierarchy to affirm its position to proceed with the delinking process. Meanwhile, the Civil Society Education Coalition Executive Director Benedicto Gondowe has indicated that the decision will make the education sector and the young people the winners.
We believe that the guidance which has been provided is a progressive decision that makes the education sector and the young people be the winners of that decision. So we welcome the decision so far made. I think it is important that we put the interests of the nation in all matters that concern Malawians, than perhaps advance personal interest at the expense of the general public.
Apart from Valence Lungwe, the meeting was attended by the Director of Higher Education, Levis Enea, and officials from the Department of Statutory Operations and Public Sector.
Former Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority Chief Executive Officer Collins Magalasi on Thursday pleaded not guilty to 2 charges of abuse of office and fraud when he appeared before Senior Resident Magistrate Shireen Chira in Lilongwe. The former MERA CEO, who is also former Chief Economic Advisor to President Peter Mutharika, is being accused of abusing the authority of his office. He is accused of using public funds to pay 10.5 million kwacha as accommodation for Democratic Progressive Party officials at Kanjadza Lodge, Oasis Hotel and Heritage Serendib between July and August 2018. More in this report.
According to the charge sheet leveled against Magalasi, the money was released on the pretext that it was going to be used for MERA's sensitization meetings. Magalasi, a PhD economist who was clad in a navy blue suit, a blue necktie and a black face mask, looked composed as he took plea in a sparsely packed courtroom. Director of Public Prosecutions Stephen Kayuni then told the court that the state would parade 7 witnesses in the case.
The 7 witnesses are ready, and they're willing to testify as to the allegations that are being leveled against the accused person.
Soon after the case was adjourned, Magalasi was back in the dock again, this time around alongside business partner Dorothy Shonga, popularly known as Cash Madam, MERA spokesperson Patrick Maulidi, and MERA procurement officer Bright Mbewe to answer another case of fraud, money laundering and entering into a procurement with an employee contrary to the Public Procurement Act. Lawyers representing Magalasi, Cash Madam and Maulidi asked the court that the charge sheet be amended, saying some of the counts were not specific to the clients.
No, this afternoon we'll save them with a fresh charge sheet. They had raised a few issues on the charge sheet because these are multiple accused persons. There are 4 accused persons. One is represented, the first accused, Mr. Magalasi. The second accused, Mr. Mbewe, is not represented at the moment. And the third accused is represented. And then the 4th accused, Ms. Shonga Nkoma, is also represented. So there were multiple objections that were raised, and we'll attend to them. And in the afternoon, as the court has ordered, we'll be able to serve on the defense the fresh charge sheet, which will clarify the issues. And next week, they'll be able to take plea.
During the session, the court also heard that Mbewe had parted ways with his lawyer, Pao Nkurabasa, and that he was representing himself. The case has since been adjourned to Monday afternoon, when the 4 would take plea.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has unveiled plans to establish a diplomats academy. Minister of Foreign Affairs Eisenhower Mkaka says the academy will be training professional diplomats. Kumbo Kaliwo compiled this report, read in our studios by Matthews Kasanda.
Speaking on Thursday during a handover ceremony of ICT equipment which the government of Egypt has donated to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mkaka said the government of Malawi wants to have career diplomats. The minister further said the donated equipment will help the ministry in the establishment of a diplomats academy.
We saw the need to change how we are doing or we are carrying out our diplomacy. We felt that there was need for us to change the direction to career diplomacy, where people, those that are trained as diplomats, are given jobs to do so. Now, we spoke to our partners, and we are glad that today the Egyptian government has responded. And the response is multi-pronged, because what they've done is to give us laptops, projectors, those pieces of equipment that could be used during training.
Bilateral relations between Malawi and Egypt dates back to 1964. Ambassador of the Arab Republic of Egypt to Malawi, Hassan Ahmed Shoke, said his government would like to help the Malawi government in building a capacity of diplomats.
About this very interesting initiative of establishing a new training unit for diplomats here in order to create a new professional profile for the Malawian diplomacy. So I think these equipments will contribute massively to the efficiency of the work of diplomats, as part of the job now is doing online meetings. Despite the pandemic, life has to go on.
The donated items include 20 laptops and 2 projectors.
Deputy Minister of Local Government Halima Daud has advised traditional leaders in the country never to shield any person who commits an offence of defilement in their areas. The minister says that such criminal offences must not be settled in the traditional leaders' courts but should be referred to the police. Matthews Kasanda has the details.
The Deputy Minister has advised the traditional leaders never to shield anyone suspected to have committed an offence of defilement but present them to the police. Daud gave the advice on Thursday in Idowa district when she elevated group village headmen Njata and Mkanakofa to become sub-TAs under Senior Chief Kaimbe.
Issues concerning defilement, I've in fact asked the chiefs that anybody found doing this practice, they should be taken them to court. They shouldn't take them to their courts, but let them go to police, hand them over to the police. And also I was telling the chiefs that when they are dealing with issues in the areas, let them be neutral. Let them handle the issues in such a way that after passing the judgment, everybody should be happy about it.
Sub-TA Njati held the minister for elevating him, further indicating that the advice that the minister has given them is of paramount importance, which will help in developing his area. The new sub-TAs have also been advised to encourage their subject to adhere to all COVID-19 preventive measures.
We'll be right back after this short break.
To achieve great things in life, you must do little things every day, like the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate.
1, wake up, wake up. 2, brush up, brush up. 3, smile through your day with a fresh breath and strong tea. Smile through your day with a fresh breath and strong tea.
Do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate and give yourself a future to smile about.
If there's one thing that all soaps do, it's wash. From buckets to basins, bathrooms to streams, and everything in between.
All soaps wash.
Yes, but Protex is different. Its reinvented formula with flaxseed oil boosts your skin's natural anti-germ defenses by 10 times more, protecting you against 99.9% of germs. So what keeps us healthy?
Protex!
Good health starts here.
Do your gums hurt?
Yeah.
Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile?
All that in one toothpaste?
Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums.
Ah, Colgate Herbal.
Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news bulletin on Times TV. The Farmers Union of Malawi, or FUM, says the COVID-19 has affected farmers in various ways across the country, also making some unable to sell their crop harvest. FUM President Frighton Njoromole made the remarks on Wednesday when the union donated funds amounting to 1.3 million kwacha to Dowa District Hospital for the purchase of oxygen cylinders. Matthews Kasanda has the details.
Njolomole says apart from contracting coronavirus, other farmers have failed to sell their farm produce, including cotton, because buyers have been unable to come into the country due to travel restrictions in various countries and also because of the economic challenges caused by the pandemic. He therefore said this is one of the reasons the union has donated towards the fight against the pandemic.
Farmers have actually been affected with this pandemic. You remember very well last year our cotton farmers did not get their cotton sold because of the Guineans that actually come from outside to buy cotton in Malawi. So cotton is still there, they didn't actually sell it. Even our farmers, let's be realistic, even our farmers, many of them have been affected either through deaths, a member of family dying. Of course, he won't have a chance to go and work into his garden.
Dowa Hospital Acting District Medical Officer Dr. Patience Nyondo Zimba said the hospital needs about 3 oxygen cylinders for every COVID-19 patient that is in the isolation center.
Since the first case was recorded, that was in December, the cases have been increasing, so is the need for oxygen. So yes, we've had the challenges. We've had people needing oxygen, and at the time, there was a time when we did not have enough oxygen. So we're grateful that we've received this donation that will help, that will ease our job in helping the patients.
On the day of the donation, the hospital had 10 COVID-19 patients in its isolation center.
Still in the news, construction works of Mzuzu Field Hospital at Mzuzu Central Hospital has just commenced, failing to meet its completion deadline of February 11, as directed by Minister of Health Kumbize Kandodo Chiponda. Chiponda, who visited the referral hospital to see the progress of the work, directed the hospital's authority to ensure that the contractor Build Construction completes the work in a week. Sam Kalimera reports.
Our visit at the site on Wednesday found the contractual work on the foundation stage. Site supervisor White Wairesi projected that the works might be completed in 3 weeks. Mzuzu Central Hospital Director Dr. Frank Senyiza admitted failing to meet the deadline, but said the contractor has assured them of speedy completion of the work. Efforts to speak to Chibonda proved futile, but the ministry's spokesperson, Joshua Malango, said the ministry signed a 2-week contract. Malango then said officials from the ministry will tour the works on Thursday and present a report on the progress. President Lazarus Chakwera directed that Mzuzu City, just like Lilongwe and Blantyre cities, should have 200-bed capacity field hospital for COVID-19 patients. Chakwera said the facility will help to decongest central hospitals, which are currently overwhelmed.
The Blantyre Archdiocese of the Catholic Church has called for all stakeholders to pull resources together in the fight against COVID-19 if the country is to win the battle against the pandemic. Vicar General Monsignor Boniface Damani was speaking when the diocese donated various equipment to St. Joseph Hospital at Ngurudi in Chiradzulu on Wednesday. Monsignor Damani said it is commendable to see how health workers have discharged their duties in caring for COVID patients despite limited resources.
Basically what has prompted us is the suffering that we see amongst our people in the hospitals and in the homes, and also that there is a lot of congestion in our government hospitals. And we as a church thought that we can't just leave government alone. I think we need to join hands and make sure that those who are suffering from COVID are helped. We may not have the resources, but I think what is important is to do our best. And also maybe cry out to whoever has the capacity to help us, so that we can reach out to many others who are suffering silently in their homes. And sometimes some people are sent back home by maybe the staff in hospitals because they are overwhelmed by patients. And so we think that is very unfortunate. But I think that's the way we are. Maybe we don't have the capacity, but I think we have to do what we can. And therefore, all the church hospitals and even the private institutions, everybody in the country, we should come together and fight this pandemic.
In his remarks, the chairperson of Council of Governors for the hospital, Fabiano Mapolija, commended the diocese for the donation, saying it will go a long way in easing the suffering of COVID patients.
As you are aware, COVID is an emerging issue, not just in Malawi, but all over the world. And it's a pandemic. Malawi has not been spared. We need resources, we need equipment to treat COVID patients. As you are aware, COVID patients need special care. So their treatment is resource hungry. So we need the equipment that we have received today to help us in treating the patients. You are aware that perhaps sometimes we may lose some people, or we have lost some people who have suffered from COVID for lack of appropriate equipment. So we believe that this equipment will help to treat COVID patients better.
The donation, among others, comprises oxygen cylinders and concentrators, nebulizers, patient monitors and beds. Now, moving on to international news, former President Donald Trump is out of office, but not out of politics. He remains popular among Republicans and is now picking fights with some top leaders in a battle for control of the Republican Party. White House correspondent Patsy Widakuswara has the story.
The Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino was demolished Wednesday, the last remnants of a once dominant gambling destination in Atlantic City. But the former president is not giving up on his political brand. On Tuesday, he attacked Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, the top Republican who blamed him for the Capitol siege on January 6th.
President Trump is practically and morally responsible for provoking the events.
In a statement, Trump said Republican senators who support McConnell will not win again. He threatened to back right-wing primary challengers against party incumbents.
The main goal with that is to make sure that the 75 million people who voted for President Trump know that the president is still going to be active and engaged in U.S. politics, that he is going to keep pushing for candidates who support the America First agenda.
7 Republican senators who voted guilty in the impeachment trial face criticism, even censure from the party, underscoring the refusal of grassroots Republicans to break from Trump.
The Republican Party is a party of Trump. And unfortunately, you have the principled, moderate conservatives, the, I would say center-right people, which is probably where I fall more politically, who I think feel sort of, I would say, homeless right now.
Trump's role in the Capitol riot is likely to remain in focus as the House of Representatives move to establish an independent commission similar to the commission that studied the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks. The former chair of the 9/11 Commission, Thomas Keane, is urging a bipartisan commission on the January 6 siege.
This is not a commission to get President Trump. This is a commission to fact finders.
A recent poll shows 75% of Republicans say they would like to see the former president play a prominent role within the party.
We love you. We will be back in some form.
But criminal investigations on Trump's role in the Capitol riot and election interference, as well as legal challenges over suspicions of tax and insurance fraud, may also determine the former president's future role in politics. Patsy Widakuswara, VOA News.
That's the news for now, but before we go, the headlines once again. Teachers Union of Malawi says its members will not report for work on Monday, as directed by government. The Malawi Electoral Commission is to adjust its by-elections budget downwards from 2.6 billion kwacha. And Vice President Saulos Chilima says government will proceed with the delinking of the University of Malawi. You've been with me, Wezi Kasambala. Remember, you can get more on these and other stories by visiting our website, www.times.mw, on our Facebook page, Times360 Malawi, and on Twitter at Times360 Malawi. You can like us at Facebook and follow us at Twitter. Remember to also wash your hands, observe social distance, and always put on a mask. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Good evening, I'm Gary Samati and I'm here with the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow morning. Expect fairly scattered rain with thunderstorms over Malawi. This is due to persons of Congo air mass as moderate tropical storm Gwambe, currently in the Mozambican Channel, moves forwards, southwards. Advisory: stop, do not attempt to cross flooded or fast flowing waters. In Shure Valley, expect slight rains with thunderstorms over a few areas tonight and during early morning. Isolated rains and thunderstorms during the day. In Southern Highlands, expect fairly scattered rain with occasional thunderstorms tonight and during early morning. Expect rain with thunderstorms over more areas during the day. In central areas, there will be locally heavy rain with occasional thunderstorms tonight and during early morning. Scattered rain showers associated with occasional thunderstorms over more areas in the afternoon. In lecture areas, expect localized heavy rain tonight and during early morning. Rain with thunderstorms over a few areas during the day. And in northern areas, there will be fairly scattered rain with thunderstorms tonight and during early morning. Cloudy with patches of rain and thunderstorms during the afternoon. Focus temperatures. Ngabu, a minimum of 25 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 33 degrees Celsius. Blantyre, a minimum of 20 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 26 degrees Celsius. Lilongwe, a minimum of 19 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 26 degrees Celsius. Mangoji, a minimum of 24 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius. And in Zuzu, a minimum of 17 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 27 degrees Celsius. Wind will be variable but gusty and strong in stormy areas. And on Saturday, expect scattered rains, especially over the north. Let's now conclude with the times for sunrise and sunset for tomorrow, 19 February 2021. In Zuzu, the sun will rise at 5:45 and will set at 12 minutes past 6. In Lilongwe, the sun will rise at 26 minutes to 6 and will set at 15 minutes past 6. And in Blantyre, the sun will rise at 22 minutes to 6 and will set at 11 minutes past 6. That's the weather for tonight. You're with me, Gary Samaji. Have a lovely evening.
Mwana wanga,
bwanja mai.
Iwe mkazi wako waikisa implant.
Ndikudziwa, pali vuto?
Ndipo ngafuna kukhala ndi mwana.
Umangopita nkukachotsetsa.
Koma ine ndamva kuti tu
kwakadaulaza umoyo kokha. Ndikomwe mungamve zoona zenizeni.
Ngati akadaula omwe anaphunzitsidwa bwino akuchipatalako.
Ndipo mukutanthauza kuti implant ilibiretu kopya kulikonse?
Inde, palibe chiopsezo chinechi chonse. Ndipo ndiyovomerezeka ndi boma.
Mukutanthauza kuti amayi musadandaule inu mudzakhala agogo tsiku lina koma osati pano.
Koma mwanawe, iwe umadziwa kukondwetsa mtima wa mayi yako.
Musalole kuti nkhamba kamwa ndi mabodza zikusokonezereni tsogolo lanu. Pitani kuchipatala kuti mungapeze uphungu wona wakulera.